So state your name, please.
My name is Doug D'Anthony.
Just give us a little bit about your background,
Right.
first and foremost.
You know what? I began pretty much in a musical family as the Osmonds or the Jacksons or the Silvers. You know, I'm dating myself now, but back in the 70s and 80s, before some of the manufactured boy bands, there were family groups. And, you know, my brothers and I would get together and do things around the holidays, but, you know, mainly I branched off solo and started working Hollywood a little bit, getting little bit parts, and finally got into voiceover. But before I did that, I sang. I would sing in lounges, you know, cruise ships, Disneyland, wherever they would put me.
You have a certain style of singing?
You could say pop.
Pop.
You know, I've been compared to, this is in the past, recent, not too recent past, but in the recent past, / medium past. Before I got into coaching and doing voiceover, I was compared to Michael Bolton, Tom Jones, somewhere in there. Because I'm a natural baritone, but, you know, I can get up there. My range can go pretty high, baby!
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, and so I would fill in for certain acts. Actually did my first record about 4 years ago. Did decent on the internet. Title cut in the meantime. It's basically jazz, or not jazz, but kind of a pop easy listening trip. All the songs were original, and it was the one and only album I've done. But I mean, I backed a lot of people up. Won't get, you know, namey or drop a lot of names, but sometimes I'd stand behind the curtain and hit the note that the guy couldn't hit that was too partied out, that was too famous the night before, you know. And I got into that, but I really enjoy voiceover, which is really a kind of a current muse. I like doing character voices. I like teaching. You know, I've had upwards of 200 students over the past 10 years.
So would you say you're more of a character-driven voiceover artist, or you just, there's no particular style for you? You
No,
just like
well, yeah, you know, it kind of either or. I mean, I flip it when need be. I have no problem doing character voices if it's something that I do for animation or books on tape like Grandma's Storybook. I can be Grandma, or I can be the Dark Lord. It just depends on what you need, you know.
Do you find it easier coming from the music background? Is the transition easier, or is there some difficulty?
Yeah, I hear you. It seems like a natural progression to go from singing to voiceover, acting to voiceover, because voiceover obviously involves vocal articulation, as does singing or acting. It's acting. It's voice acting. You really have fun with characterizations, with accents, with you know, doing something. Carnival Barker, you know, now live at the Pantages Theater, vis-a-vis, how do you like your steak? You know, I mean, so we flip it, you know, and it's a challenge. Each reading is a challenge. Sometimes I'll get a reading for a video game, and, you know, sometimes they'll call you back. It's just really cool. One of the things I did that's been a staple for Creation Entertainment is the Stargate, Star Trek series, doing some of the infomercials and things like that for Creation Entertainment.
You mentioned that you teach as well.
Yeah.
That you hold classes and things of that nature. Do you feel that that is what really lets you know who you are in the teaching? Does that at some point help you perfect your craft?
Right. I think I understand. Certainly it grounds you. It gives you a reality check in terms of when you, as one of my good friends once said, who's a director, when you're teaching, you're honing your own skills, because if you're not tip-top, the person is not learning. However, one is taught in accordance with one's fitness to learn. So I don't care how good a teacher you are, if the student is not fit to learn, they're not going to learn. But it has a lot to do with how you issue it out to them, I think.
So would you say that word of mouth plays a key factor in your job survival, or is it other factors involved?
I think it would, in my case, predominantly be over time audition process vis-a-vis word of mouth. I do get that, but I still have to hit those cattle calls. I still have to go in, and if the agent calls, or if I find something online, there are several websites I utilize. It would be about a 70-30 split, because word of mouth is something that doesn't happen as much these days for me, due to the fact that a lot of the guys I know are getting out of the business, or they've lost their station. And so at this point I have to dig. I have to dig like everybody else, man.